It's Christmas time. Did the Philadelphia Eagles receive an early Christmas present from the hated Dallas Cowboys? Maybe. We'll talk about all that and more coming up next.
The following announcement has been paid for by
The ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you believe it? Can
Sports.
you feel it? Can you feel that excitement? The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Chris Wild here live from Lincoln Financial.
And I'm telling you, if you let Eli Manning walk into that stadium,
Music,
Wow.
man, again, and I hate to do this again, but these are goosebumps.
and more.
What's his next book gonna be called? Spineless?
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the ENN Podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild, live from Bar 4133, and it is officially part 2 of the 2021 NFL season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, why do I say part 2? Because this is after the bye. There's before the bye and there's after the bye, and how will this team respond? A huge 4-game stretch coming up for the Philadelphia Eagles, and what happens this week, I believe, will determine if they have a shot at the playoffs. Who can believe that they would even be in this conversation after how the first part of this season went? Well, here it is, after the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Washington football team Sunday in Washington. This leaves it wide open for the Philadelphia Eagles to claim that 7th spot, that last wild card spot that was given this year. Now, what did we learn this week? Because I got a chance to watch a couple of the games this week. More than any game, I watched the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, all over radio this week in Philly and online, it was said you have to root for the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Washington football team for the Eagles to have a chance, because if Washington wins, they're going to come in with a better record than the Eagles. Right now, they are absolutely tied at 6-7. I will never root for the Dallas Cowboys, never in my life. However, I did root for the Washington football team to lose, which is exactly what happened. And man, what a bad game. This was a game that was really hard for me to watch, not just because I hate both teams, because look, I really was looking forward to scouting this Washington football team. I mean, their record, I think they won the last 4 of their games. They were kind of going upward, trending upward. I heard a lot about Tyler Heineke and that he was actually looking like a starting NFL quarterback coming from the XFL, which I followed also back in its heyday. And I got to be honest, man, the Washington offense looked absolutely horrible. Tyler Heineke did not look like an NFL quarterback. He looked like a backup quarterback, which is what he was before Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt. And I was not impressed with anything offensively that the Washington football team did. Now, look, granted, the Dallas defense looked awesome. Micah Parsons is an absolute beast, and that line just ate up that Washington offensive line. There were so many times in the game where guys were down from Washington because they were just getting their ass whooped the entire game. Now, the Dallas offense looked horrible and actually gave up a pick 6 at the end of the game to make it a lot closer than it should have been. But as far as this Washington offense goes, you have a concussion to their best wide receiver in Terry McLaurin. Heineke's coming in banged up. I'm not sure if their center is going to play, as he got carted off last game. This is a game, Eagle fans, after watching this game between the Cowboys and the football team, this is a football game that if the Eagles cannot beat the Washington football team at home with what is on the line after a bye, Washington being beat up already, then this Eagle team has absolutely no should not be in the conversation for playoffs or anything if you cannot beat this team. It is Jonathan Gannon. I sent out a tweet yesterday. Please blitz this team. There's one thing that I noticed about the Washington football team. Dallas brought pressure all day long. Dan Quinn sitting upstairs. Dan Quinn, the former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, the former defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks when the Seattle Seahawks defense was dominant, was a guy that I really wanted the Eagles to bring in as defensive coordinator. The Cowboys got him first, and we're stuck with Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon, please, please, please blitz this team all day. Bring the pressure all day, because Tyler Heineke, when he is pressured, at one point he was like 2 for 11 yesterday going into the third quarter. He is absolutely horrendous when you bring the pressure. I'll be honest, I would be more worried about Kyle Allen coming in the game than Tyler Heineke, especially being beat up You have got to bring the pressure. You've got to disguise these coverages. The Eagles defense normally is really good against bad quarterbacks. I mean, however, Daniel Jones somehow beat the Eagles, and that's another thing. And let's just get into that right now. One of the other things I learned yesterday from watching the NFC East, and I didn't get to watch a lot of this game as I was out doing Christmas stuff with my children. How the hell did the Eagles lose to the New York Giants? I said this last week after they beat the Jets. How did they lose to this football team? I watched the Giants, the highlights of them against the Dolphins the week the Eagles beat the Jets, and they looked horrendous. Again, Daniel Jones is out. Who knows if he's even coming back this year? He's a bum quarterback regardless. I mean, the guys that they have in after him, to me, it's pretty much equal. And then yesterday, the Giants get their absolute shit kicked out of them against the Chargers. I just don't get it. I don't understand how the Eagles, Jalen Hurts' last start, how they lost to this team. I do not understand it. Even with the 4 turnovers, they still should have beaten this Giants team. I don't get it, guys, and that could be a loss that ends up hurting this team in the long run. I'm looking at the Raiders game that was horrible. I'm looking at the Cowboys game that was horrible the Eagles played. The thing that hurt the worst was losing to a bad football team like the New York Giants, because they're bad. And I'm not saying this to throw shade at Giant fans, because Giant fans will probably agree with me. This is a bad team that the Eagles lost to. And again, the Eagles have not won a division game. Jalen Hurts, who I guess is going to start against the football team, the Eagles keeping that close to the vest as Hurts was diagnosed with a high ankle sprain. They might go with Gardner Minshew again. I think Jalen Hurts, healthy, is a better option just because of what he can do with his legs against a really decent Washington football team defense. I will say that. Their defense is legit. Their secondary is decent. Their line is awesome. They have a couple good linebackers in there. Kelly Holcomb had that pick 6. I mean, this Washington defense is the best part of their team by far. By far. So you're going to have to disrupt some things in order to get them off their game. And the best chance with that is with Jalen Hurts, obviously. But Jalen Hurts has not won a division game. He has not won a division game. Think about that. This year and last year, he has not won a division game for the Philadelphia Eagles. If any time is a time, it's now coming off the bye. How will Nick Sirianni be off the bye? These are all football guys. This is a young staff that knows that their place on this team, they can cement their status by getting into the playoffs. I hope they have a absolute dynamite game plan against the Washington football team at home. The crowd's going to be absolutely crazy. I'm going to try to get there. I'm going to try to get tickets. If anybody knows anybody that has some tickets or is selling some tickets, I don't have to go through the third party, please let me know, as this game is absolutely huge for Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, some news coming out today. Like I said, the Washington football team's already banged up. They announced they added some players to the COVID-19 list, most notably defensive tackle Jonathan Allen. Now, apparently he's vaccinated, so he'll only need 2 negative tests to play. The Eagles also added some guys to the COVID list, which was Jason Huntley, a practice squad running back, and Quez Watkins, who has started for the Eagles all year long at wide receiver. If he can't go, I'm guessing they'll bring John Hightower up from the practice squad. But the Eagles, look, the way that the Eagles are going to win is by running the football anyway. Let's hope that Quez is okay and that he can play. But if he can't, who knows, man? John Hightower did impress me a little bit last year. He had the case of the drops, but there were some games where, I mean, he did contribute. And, you know, Quez is Quez, and I like Quez, but for whatever reason, Jalen doesn't look at him often. So we'll see what happens there. And if Minshew plays, Minshew's used to playing with John Hightower. So that's a plus as well. But guys, look, the point of this whole video is the NFC East is bad. And the Eagles can absolutely get into the playoffs if they just take care of their own business. I don't care that the Bengals couldn't beat the 49ers. I don't care what the Vikings do. I don't care what the Seahawks or the Falcons or the Panthers do. The Eagles just need to take care of their own business. By doing that is by winning out. And if the Dallas Cowboys have nothing to play for that last week, the Eagles are going to be playing their second and third string guys, and that's an absolute win for them. The rest of these games are against the division, against the Giants, and against these Washington football team. There are no guarantees here. The Eagles, show me something, Nick Sirianni. Please show me something that you spent the bye week constructing this offense and making sure this defense applies pressure to Tyler Heineke. And as a matter of fact, everybody that they're going to play. That's the key to this game, to winning, is to getting these bum quarterbacks on their back. Let's do it. I'm hype. I'm ready. I had a week off from the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm ready to be at the link Sunday for this huge matchup, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do the Eagles make the playoffs? There's also another argument about Micah Parsons and Devontae Smith that I'm going to do another video about coming up, because, look, Micah Parsons looks like the second coming of Lawrence Taylor, LeVar Arrington. He just looks awesome. But that's another video for another time, guys. I hope everybody enjoyed their bye week. Let me know what you did on your bye week. What did you do? It's Christmas time. Perfect that the Eagles got that last bye week. They need it. They're hurting. And hopefully we have a full cast. I'm talking Jordan Howard. I'm talking Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelsey, and others. Maybe even Brandon Brooks to join the team this week as we try to head toward a playoff game. With that being said, guys, everybody, first off, if you haven't subscribed, you like what you see, or you just like the hilarity of me freaking out about the Eagles, or you like anything in entertainment, because I'm doing music video reviews, I'm doing movie trailer reviews. I did the 5, and check this video out, my 5 top Christmas movies of all time. It's probably right below this one. I mean, we're just doing so much content here at ENN, and every subscriber counts, and I really appreciate everybody that hits that button. With that being said, stay safe, stay healthy, go Birds, and I'll see you later.